Welcome to another video from DIY Daily. Just put together a quick video investigating and fixing an aircon fault on this 2015 Audi S5. Basically the issue that we've got, the aircon's not working, it's not blowing cold air, the fans and everything's working, the temperature does adjust, but it's just not getting that cold aircon temperature there. So now to start with any sort of aircon fault, you always really need to be getting them gassed up, just making sure there's gas in there. I've carried out a full aircon regas on this. I know it's got the right amount in there now, but since we've done it, there's still no cold air coming through on it. So after that, I've plugged it in, used the top-down diagnostic machine. We've done a full scan on it, and it has got some fault codes in there. Now this issue is actually quite common on a lot of the Volkswagen Group vehicles, but if you just look in the air conditioning ECU there, we've got a couple of fault codes, and the main one that's giving us the issue, we've got this 00256 refrigerant pressure temperature. And if I just show you quickly as well, we can go in and we can check some of the data. So just loaded up some of the data and just quickly running through it, you can just see the pressure sensor G395 straight away just comes up on there with error. It's always nice just checking some of the actual temp sensors just to make sure they're reading right, but you can see they're all reading pretty close to each other. Obviously 29, 30, 28, 29, 29. Obviously outside temperature there slightly different, but we've got another one for the pressure sensor again there, and it just says error on it. So it's a good indication that it's the actual pressure sensor at fault. Now, as I said before, this is a really common issue on these. So we've got an aftermarket pressure sensor. Now I'll put a link to these in the description below and where you can get them from, but they are quite straightforward to fit on these. I'll just get under the bonnet in a minute and just show you where it's located. And it doesn't matter, you can swap it over with gas in the system as well, because all it basically does, it just has a little, you can just see the little probe in the center there, and that just presses on like a Schrader valve. So as you undo that, you're not going to lose all the gas out of the system or anything. But we'll just get under the bonnet now to show you where it's located, get it swapped over. We'll then test the aircon, clear all the fault codes, and make sure it's definitely fixed the fault. But yeah, I'll put a link to them in the description below where you can get them from. Right, so just coming under the bonnet, all we've had to do is just remove this front trim. Really straightforward to get off. You can just see we've got the trim here, basically has 4 clips, like a rivet style clip there. But just look, all you need to do is just pop the centre in, only so far so it doesn't actually push it all the way out. And then when it's pushed down to that point, you can just pop the trim clips out. And basically the pressure sensor just located down on this side. If you just have a look on this one, the actual sensor on this one, the connector, sorry, is all broken. But it is slotted into place. It was on, and you do obviously need to check the wiring is okay. I've checked the supplies on this one, and all the feeds and everything are okay there. So it's just simply a case of swapping the actual sensor over. So just to swap it over, just got a 24mm socket. We're just going to undo that now, put the new one into place. That's the old sensor out. You can just see with it off, there's a little seal on there and just a little valve, so don't lose any gas with it off. I'll just get the new one put on now. It does only need quite a light nip. Right, so new switch is all fitted there now. So the connector is damaged, but it has gone back on okay. As I said, it is a really light nip on it. They're not a very strong sensor, so you don't want to do it too tight. All I'm going to do now is just put the cover panel back on. You just reset the rivets, you can just put them in and then put the securing clips down. So just get that back together, then we'll get back in the car, clear the fault codes and just test it quick. Right, so now that it's fitted, just before we strike it up, we're just going to clear all the fault codes to start with. Then we'll strike it up and just have a look at the data, just see if it's reading and just check it's working. It would actually allow you to clear the fault code before, but as soon as you struck it up, put the ignition on, the fault code would come back. Let's just strike it up now and just test it quickly. Right, it is blowing nice and cold now. Just checked in the fault codes there. See there's no codes logged now. If we just have a quick look at the data as well. They can just see the pressure sensors now reading correctly. So if you've got that on there, it's always worth just checking that, just to test it and just see if it's reading. Obviously this one wasn't reading a faulty reading, but it was just actually flagging up as an error straight away. But yeah, that's definitely fixed the problem, cleared the fault codes, nice and chilly now. Quite a simple fix. As I say, I'll put a link to one of the sensors and where you can get it from. All you're going to need to replace it is just a 24mm deep socket, and obviously just use some just to get them clips out to get that panel off. But yeah, just thought I'd put the video together just in case anyone's having that issue. It's well worth just checking that. Hope the video helped, and if it did, give it a quick thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.